I've just realised that theme's come from Triple H, and he was obviously at the Hall of Fame yesterday.
Yeah. Triple H.
Did you watch any of the Hall of Fame stuff?
No, I was actually up at. I actually woke up about 3:30 and I couldn't sleep, so I thought I'll put it on, and it says 1 hour to go, 1 hour to start time, and then I woke up. I obviously dozed off and woke up at like 8:30, and Triple H was just coming onto the stage, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's went on here?
Did you see the wax figurine about Triple H? It's terrible.
Yeah, I think that's been done intentionally. The badness of it. I think that's to get a weird internet reaction. I think, but yeah, what was it? Or I don't know. You know, it just so looks so goofy. You just
I don't get
I'm
it,
a skeptic.
Yeah, would you say that the build-up for WrestleMania has been not as good as it has been the past few years?
Yeah, it's been shit basically.
It has. It's been absolutely horrendous and stuff like that. But we've got 2 nights obviously to cover here. And we're covering night 1 today. Then tomorrow we're going to look at night 2, what happens at night 1 and stuff like that. Are you stopping up to watch it?
Yep, definitely. I'll try. I'm getting older and what was it? I'm struggling with these long nights now, so we'll see.
You're not that old.
Yeah, but still.
Okay, mate.
As I say in my tagline, during the war.
Okay, mate, let's get into the introduction, pal, and let's knock the show out. Here we go. Hey, Nick, it's always a pleasure to have you in the presence, mate. How's your week been?
It's been a fun one. Usual work stuff. Obviously, there was a shorter work week as well, so fitting like loads more into the week to try and get that, you know.
I was thinking, obviously, on Thursday with that, I thought, shit, I'm not going to be able to watch like night 2 of WrestleMania. Then I realised I've got the Monday off as well.
Superb.
It's good. Have you got the same as well? Have you only got the
well, I'm off anyway because I was book it off. But no, I get the Friday. I don't get the Monday.
Okay, and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure. I mean, it's WrestleMania, man. I mean, what can we say? I'm excited. You know what I mean? Some great matches. Are you excited?
Yep. Hopefully with some nice surprises and some nice twists and turns, and you know, it'll be really good.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, stuff like that. So we've got 14 matches, obviously, on the card. Like I said, obviously split over 2 nights. There's still always this debate, though, that people think is 2 nights better or is it worse?
I wouldn't mind it. I don't mind it. I like the idea of like splitting it up. You know, especially if you've got multiple programs. What was it? You've got different brands, so it makes sense. You know, what was it? Was it to have it over 2 nights? You know, rather than doing what they used to do, and you were going to bed here in the UK at like 6 o'clock in the morning after like 8 hours of wrestling.
Yeah, and then a certain AEW decides to do that now.
Yeah, it's hard work. All in was a bit like that. You know, you were in at 5:30. You know, and then what was it called? First sort of match was like around about then, and you're there at about 11 o'clock. It's a long slog, you know. Even though you enjoy wrestling, watching wrestling that long is no fun, you know, especially when you get the crap in between.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. One thing I like about the WWE, is over the past few, since obviously been on Netflix, you always get the 5-6 matches, and even the Mania when you've got 7, yeah, it is across 2 nights, but they're still short.
Yeah, it definitely is, but it's a nicer sort of what was it? It's a nicer sort of easing of the card, you know. So, but yeah, too much is too much, especially with wrestling, you know. Especially if you get a couple of stinkers, you sort of lose out, you know. I said it's probably the one main event that I've missed out, and we'll talk about it. What was it? But it was the year that Seth cashed in, and it was the first time ever that I just went to bed before the main event because it was absolutely knackered and I had no interest in seeing Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and then I wake up the next morning and it's like Seth Rollins champion. I went,
No, exactly. I did the exact same thing when Undertaker lost his streak and stuff like that. I went to bed randomly and I woke up next morning. I'm like, oh my god, what the hell?
yeah. I mean, that would have been a bigger shock, because that was something different, But we've talked about that before in hindsight. I mean, I love the fact that wrestling can invoke that emotion in you. What was it called? What was it called? There's nothing better than that. Having that sort of what was it, a roller coaster. But was us Man United fans sort of got that on Thursday night there. It was up and down. We were through and we went through, and then
I was actually annoyed because I put a bet on them to win on penalties, and then fucking Aaron Maguire scores at like 90. Well, I think 120 plus summit. But I guess that's what happens when you're a Man United fan, right?
Yeah, it's happened. I mean, anytime they do anything sort of successful like that, they tend to sort of have these sort of dramatic wins. But I think the players, like, I mean, not obviously we can't talk about wrestling, but if we're talking about football for a second, I think the fact that they're all at risk of losing a 25%, getting a 25% pay cut because they're not in Europe next year, maybe incentivise them to pull their finger out their ass and do something. What was it called? What was it? I think fans are jumping the gun a little bit about how it was and all. They're like, we're back, we're not back. It's you still got 3 games to play to win it.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. Tiffany's obviously in the comments saying currently watching Stand and Deliver. I'm probably going to watch it, after we've done here, so I can't wait to see the matches.
Yeah, is it started? Is it 22 minutes to go?
Is it on Netflix? I don't know. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I think Netflix has got it as 22 minutes to start.
Let's have a quick gander there while we think. So, I'm trying to find this. We've said about it in the introduction here, and the build-up for this week's WrestleMania and stuff like that, it's not been the best.
No, I mean, what are the talking points? There's none really. Last year we had the whole Cody thing and The Rock. This year we've had the Cena thing, which is a bit flat. I mean, I know I predict the Cena heel turn, but it's totally went a different way from where I thought it would be, And then obviously we were saying in the chat, what was it last night? Well, not last night, over the last couple of days, that I didn't think Cena was going to win. Obviously, I don't want to give him a prediction, but what was it? Obviously, what happened on Raw, and then in the SmackDown and things like that. Again, changing my mind. But it's just been sort of booked in a very strange way. So, hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, Tiffany says first match has already started, but I've just looked on Netflix and it says 12 minutes to start. So unless it depends where you are, probably in the world.
Yeah, that's not good. We don't want to. Yeah, that's strange. 6 o'clock is when it goes live, apparently.
Yeah, I've just literally clicked on Netflix now and it says countdown 12 minutes, which makes it will bet 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Unless Tiffy's doing what see the last 2 pay-per-views, what was it? Fiona's watched them the next day, and what was it? She's been like, oh, for God's sake, there's this, and I'm like, what are you watching? And then I realised it was because they've been Netflix, because I've watched it to the end. It goes to the previous year's standing. Like, make sure you're not watching last year's Stand and Deliver, Tiffany, because that's what Fiona's done a couple of times.
Well, you never know, right? You never know. But yeah, I mean, I do honestly think, looking at the card which we're covering in today, I still think that the build-up's been not the best. And I know that Stephen Richards has said that, James Romero. I know there's quite a few people who said the build-up for this year's WrestleMania has been absolutely terrible. Yeah,
there's no excitement for it. It's a pretty shitty place to have it as well. And I mean, no disrespect to Vegas, but it's not exactly family friendly. Most of the hotels are like casino based, and they don't like kids either. So, it's not exactly the best place to host it. Particularly when it's a PG company. Yeah, it's very strange. What's Tiffany saying? It's not.
It says it's not, apparently. So unless she's got I don't have to know what's happening here. Because like I said, I've gone onto my Netflix now and stuff. The women's tag is on. Let me have a quick look at that because I've on Netflix and it still says 12 minutes.
It still says 12. I've got it as well. Yeah, it still says 12 minutes here.
Yeah, it says live here.
Yeah, maybe we're not getting it live. Maybe they're doing it. So you need
Unless
to be careful.
unless that's a proof. Sorry.
Yeah, so Tiffany will need to be careful. Not what was it? If she's with no spoilers. What was it?
I'm gonna leave that thingy. Let it play down for 9 minutes and see what happens and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, is any matches obviously on night one you're looking forward to in particular?
Probably. I mean, night one. It's probably the main event. You know, Seth, Roman, and CM Punk, just to see where that goes, and see how that plays out.
Yeah, but, I'm looking forward to the LA Knight and Jacob Fatu one because that's really interesting.
LA Knight, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Right, there we go. So, do you know what, mate? Enough from me on because we've got 7 matches to cover. Should we crack on?
Yeah, let's crack on. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Main event.
The main event.
I'm not even going to respond to that. Andy, can you see the comments?
No, I can't see the comment.
Right, when you watch back, look at the comments here because I've just seen one here and it's really weird. I'm not going to show it because it's just absolutely crazy. But yeah, obviously before we take into our deep dive to WrestleMania, we're going to have a little mid-session interval. So for that, this is where we promote shows up and down the UK. There may be some which we've not edited yet, but here we go.
Turning red, steel claws of vengeance awaken the dead. The silence is shattered, the battle drums roar. We march through the ashes, we're ready for war. No mercy, no change, no fear in our veins. The fire ignites, we'll never be tamed. Ready for war, the thunder.
I've only just realised as well the fact that the Newcastle show we did a while back.
Yeah.
Their actual event is actually happening now.
Oh, nice.
So, and I can't wait for that because we've already said that when that show actually airs, we're going to be watching it back.
No, definitely. That'll be an awesome show. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And of course, I've just booked the tickets for the next one, settle the score. So I'm going to be there in person. So I cannot wait, stuff like that. So, yeah, for all the shows we've just displayed there, what we'll do is, after the show's finished, we'll put all the links in the description, including the Hot Tag Foundation, which we're also a proud supporter of. Go check them out, do you know what I mean? As we say every time, Annie, go support your local shows.
Yep. Indie wrestling. Always support indie wrestling. It's the best.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to go match breakdown now. This is this order has come from obviously Wikipedia and stuff like that. So match number 1, of course, is Gunther versus Jey Uso and stuff like that. I've got to be honest, I'm just looking at the cage side seats thing here. A lot of people say that Gunther's got a good record at WrestleMania, so they're all tipping Jey to win.
Yeah, I think this is the obvious one. Start the event hot, you know. It'll be interesting to see, but yeah, it's hard to see past that. But then again, do you want Gunther losing 2 years in a row at WrestleMania?
Me personally, I don't, because I'm a massive fan of his work. I feel like he's really good.
Yeah,
I feel like he's really at the top of his game.
Yeah, what was it? No, definitely. I mean, what was it? Gunther's like a wrestling sort of. What was it? Through and through. I mean, I'm not to take anything away from Jay, but he wrestles like a young buck, like which is wank, really. You know. So,
Yeah.
what was it called? Yeah, he's not my cup of tea, to be honest. The wrestling wise, what was it? I don't like all the super kicks and all that nonsense. And what was it? He's made a few mistakes, and well, he nearly destroyed his WrestleMania moment doing a sort of what was it? Over the top dive. Remember, he nearly did what was it thing we did? What's his name? Dollar
I forgot
did.
the match.
Yep.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember it because we were talking about it in the chat.
Yeah, and it's like, you idiot, you know.
You absolute moron. I'm just going to read quickly comments saying Gino, I think he says, there's no way they're going to go through the build they did with the push they've given Jay. Just have Gunther retain the title. Triple H has shown he'll do so before he thinks there is more story to tell, but I can't see what else they could get out of it. So, yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, as much as I don't want, obviously, Jay to win, I feel like this is all signs of pointing there.
Yeah, can I throw in my first conspiracy?
Go ahead.
Jay walks away from WrestleMania as a champion, but he doesn't walk away with this one. He walks away with the main one. There you go.
Do you want to elaborate how?
Well, what was it? I mean, there's an interesting thing. If you look back, you remember The Rock always says he's 20 steps ahead. You know, and if you remember before the big Cena heel turn with Travis Scott, who came into Netflix with Travis Scott?
I don't actually know. You have to remind me.
Jay.
Wow. I can't remember.
Yeah, and all the guys have all been in the ring at the same time when shits went down, you know, or in this vicinity. So could it possibly be that tomorrow night? What was it? I mean, this is my first American conspiracy. I'm not saying. I don't think this will happen. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I've got another one with the main event. That sort of conspiracy that's sort of along the same lines of the outcome. But Cena doesn't win. And the next thing you know is if you smell what The Rock is cooking. And what was it? Obviously, from the night before, something happens that Jay doesn't win, but he's determined to get that world championship. And he comes out with The Rock, and The Rock puts him in the match, and then he turns heel on Cody. But yeah, that's just my first outrageous conspiracy. I just like to make people think.
I'm not ruling it out, Ernie, after the... No, exactly. And one thing I like about you is I'm not ruling it out after the Cena one.
Yeah. I seen that coming, you know. What was it? But this one's not really this one's a bit more far-fetched than what I think the Cena one was, you know. But because I've not booked Cena the way... Let's be honest, I predicted Cena was going to turn heel, but they've not booked him the way that we thought he was going to be, you know. So... which has left me a wee bit. What was it? I mean, I know things change in wrestling, but a wee bit puzzled with how I thought they maybe go with it. You know, not saying what I'm saying is right or wrong. Just it's just interesting, you know, how it played out.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. So,
but yeah, Jay. I think Jay's a favourite for this one, and I can't really, obviously, apart from throwing in a conspiracy there, I can't see anything past this.
No, everyone's saying Jay, stuff like that. I don't think everyone I've looked at, no one's actually saying, going through stuff like that. So I think this is pretty much nailed on, shall we say?
Yeah, I don't think. I think Gunther doesn't need it. It would be honest, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Right then. Let's obviously get up to the next match. Next one I've got is the War Raiders versus New Day. I've got to be honest. This is a match where I'm looking good. I think this is a toilet break match, and I really hate to say that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people think that Big E's going to get involved, but I think Big E won't be involved in anything with the New Day until they've got the championship. I don't think, you know. So yeah, I think it's New Day. I'm not feeling it.
Everyone's saying it. Obviously, only as we're looking at it now, saying New Day, New Day, New Day, New Day, New Day, New Day. So, do you think this is like another one which is nailed on?
Yeah. You're probably better off having the other sort of another match in here. There's no really any build up to this, you know, apart from. I mean, it's weird because obviously you've
When
had
was this announced? Because I can't remember when it were announced.
Yeah, but basically just the other week, basically New Day went away and said, "Oh, we deserve." Remember they did the whole "we deserve the title shot at WrestleMania," and he says, "Well, you need to earn it," and he says like they won their match, and is like, that's us earned it, so they got the match, you know. So yeah, what was it called? Yeah, I'm not overly fussed.
No, exactly, and stuff like that. So we've obviously got more.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've never been a fan of Kofi. I think Xavier and Big E are amazing, but I've never really been a fan of Kofi. I don't like the way he wrestles or the style of wrestling, you know. But I mean, New Day had an amazing run, and it was fantastic, and it was great to watch. But you know, what was it? Now that Big E's not there, I've not really got any sort of interest in that team. But it has been fun seeing try to play heel, but it doesn't work to me in wrestling now, like flipping like that. And and we'll get to that with Cena as well. You know, it's all a bit naff.
We're covering Cena tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think I'm saying New Day as well, stuff like that. This next one I feel like is going to have a nice little debate and stuff like that, which of course is Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. So there's obviously reports that Rey suffered an injury last night, but somebody's just put, and I feel like this is interesting. WWE said this morning on X the match is still on. So I'm wondering if Rey's not actually fit, could we see Rey Fenix fill in?
Yeah, or a certain El Generico coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah. It's an odd one for me because really Chad. Sorry, not Chad. Sorry.
Everyone knows it.
What was it? Yeah, they could have got away with Rey Mysterio losing, but I don't think they could bring in Phoenix and have him lose at WrestleMania straight away. That would be sort of. Can you imagine all the AEW hardcore douchebags? You know, bring him in for 2 matches and then have him losing. You know, so yeah. What was it? I don't think. I mean, if it is, it'd be great. What was it? Great fit. You know, there's other people that can fit in there as well. But I can't see Phoenix losing that match if Phoenix is put into the match. But I can't see them putting Phoenix into that match because then it sort of kills off that character of El Grande Americano. Maybe we'll get maybe they'll do something strange. What was it? Because obviously when they do gimmicks like this, you're obviously making for that sort of switch of wrestlers. You know, a bit of like Nikki Bella, was it Brie Bella Twin Magic? You know, where they switch somebody up in the outfit. So, what was it? Maybe that's how he wins. Maybe he could still beat Phoenix, but obviously cheat to win. You know, what was it? So what was it? It'll be interesting to see.
Do you know the interesting thing is, as I'm looking at the cage side seats, this has got a lot of people split. So some people saying Rey, some people saying La Grande and stuff like that. I mean, for me, it's got to be Rey Mysterio for me because it feels like this El Grande thing is kind of disrespectful in a way.
Yeah, but it's just started. So would you have him lose like that so quickly on a grand stage?
You don't know, do you? It's weird.
you don't know. It's weird. You know, it's a very weird WrestleMania. You know, because they've got these character. They brought this character in, and he's been there for a few weeks. But yeah, you know, was it just brought in to do a WrestleMania program? Possibly. It was it. If Ray wins, I can see him. I can see Chad Gable getting revealed, and that's the end of it. Really, you know.
Tiffany's got Chad actually winning. I'm actually not sure. I will be honest. I'm kind of torn with this one.
Yeah. If it's not Ray, I can't see anybody else winning but Chad. Even even if they brought in Phoenix, what was it? They would have to do some dodgy, what was it? A dusty finish, you know, where he's cheated out of it or something, because you couldn't have him like losing clean, because that would just like he's just arrived. You're not going to squash the you're not going to squash the guy on your first big match, are you? I mean, it's not Josh Alexander, is it really?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I saw that and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Bring in this badass guy and have him lose his first match. What a moron.
But now it's really the Don Callis thing. Why are we talking about AEW? We're talking about WrestleMania.
I'm a dick, that's why.
Well, you said that, not me.
But you agreed.
I'm not... Well, yeah, I guess.
How could you? How could you agree? Oh my God.
You're Scottish, of course you're going to be a dick.
Yeah. I was born an arsehole.
I just want to emphasise, by the way, not all Scottish people are dicks, only if your name's Alexander Haney.
Yeah. Most of them are fannies.
Dear. Next match we've got is in it, and I can't wait for this one. Jade Cargill versus Naomi and stuff like that. I've got to be honest, when obviously Jade came back at Elimination Chamber, I mean, it was one of those because we all watched it live. We're like, oh my God. But I've got to be honest, the build up again, it's kind of like, what do you think?
Yeah, it's been iffy. You know, I mean, Naomi's got a couple of good promos. But that's about it. And then there's been a bit of back and forth. I'm sure Bianca will get, well, I thought maybe Bianca would be involved in this match, but she's on tonight as well, isn't she? So, yeah. Interesting.
Oh, yeah, because is it triple threat on night 2?
Yes.
Right, okay. Yeah, I completely forgot. I've only got the list of matches there and there, so I've got like 2 screens to look at. But yeah, so you were saying, sorry?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just lost my train of thought because the sort of stand. I don't know what Tiffany's watching, but Stand Deliver has started, and it's Ethan Page and what was it? Ricky Saint is the first match. So not sure what she's watching.
I have no idea. It'd be funny if she's watching something completely different. But yeah, sorry, we're talking about Jade and Naomi.
Yeah, I think what was it? Naomi's got to win this one. I know a lot of people have said Jade, but I think there's a heel Bianca turn coming, and that ties into that event as well, that match as well. You know, so yeah.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, I think Jade's going to win it more so, but then again, it's like, where do you go from there?
Yeah, I mean, with Jade being so green, they've put her with a couple of solid workers, you know, and she said Bianca there to help. Bianca's like an absolute workhorse. You know, what was it? Once she's finished with the program with the girls, where she's going to go? You really need somebody, you know, to be able to like carry her through the matches.
Tiffany's watching the same match, by the way, so I don't know what's going off.
Yeah, very strange.
Unless, like I said, there's a pre-show on.
Yeah, but for like the whole thing, I was just said Netflix said, is she watching it on Netflix? Ask her if she's watching it on Netflix.
Ask her if she's watching it.
Yes. Oh, she can hear us. Why am I asking? Why am I saying that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But anyway, please continue.
Ricky Saint's doing there. Nice to see you. Nice.
I've got a feeling here, Nick, because I'm just looking at the results from Wikipedia. The pre-show had Tatum, Paxley, and Gigi Dolan, with Shotzi defeating Metal for Fatal Influence. So there was basically a lot of tag picked people.
Yeah, well, it wasn't on over here, so it was. If she's watching it on like like USA Network over there or whatever, then there's probably been a pre-show because on Netflix it's just a straight show.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia, and there was a fatal four-way, so that was probably on the pre-show. But she's watching it on Peacock as well.
Yeah. So Netflix, we didn't get the pre-show, Tiffany. You need to let us know if that match was good.
12 minutes 51. I don't even know. Oh, I'm not going to tell you who won it.
Okay, don't say.
No, it's fine. I've got it there. Stuff like that. But yeah, sorry, Henry. We're talking. We got lost of train of thought there. Carry on.
Yeah. So Naomi is yeah. What was it? I think I'll win this one because I think Bianca's going to turn heel soon as well because it makes sense because they need a decent heel female. That was it there because a lot of them are almost tweeners at the moment, What was it? It must be really frustrating for people like Triple H when he gets somebody over. What was it? And they're obviously meant to be a bad guy, but they become sort of like beloved with the fans, So, what was it? It's like you turn them heel, they cheer them, and if you turn them face, they boo them. It doesn't make sense.
Not at all, mate. Not at all. Stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to say Jade Cargill. I think I'm going to disagree with you and stuff like that.
I like Jade. I think people are too hard on Jade. She looks phenomenal, and wrestling's about entertainment. It's not about throwing like the best flips and the best moves. It's about telling a story, and she's done that so far.
No, exactly. So we're obviously way ahead of timing and stuff like that. So I want to turn this focus because a lot of people are predicting some people might show up, either it's night one or night two, and one of the names which is running around is Rusev.
Rusev there. Yeah. I mean, he could always be the match for Randy Orton, but I think that's going to be Nick Aldis, to be honest.
I hope it's Nick Aldis. I said Nick Aldis.
Yeah, I hope it's Nick. Even though he's a miserable bastard, what was it called? What was it called? I hope he gets.
Why is it so funny when you see you miserable bastard?
I don't know. He is though. When he was his TNA and he was out meeting fans. He was a stroppy git, What was it called? But yeah, he deserves a match at WrestleMania because he's had such an illustrious career, and he's never actually properly had a match in the WWE. So that would be good, And then what was it? You have a bit of fun, and then they do this sort of like nice handshake, and it's a good send off for him. He's had his match, and it's time for him to go. So really cool.
Is there actually a reason why he's not actually been in the ring? Is there something I'm missing?
What was it? He has got a really bad injury in his shoulder, I believe. But
okay.
What was it called? He has said in the past that if he was called to wrestle, he's ready. He's ready for it. I just don't think he could wrestle a long program. What was it? Because of like, what was it? Because of the injury he's got. I think it's like some sort of weird rotary cuff thing that he's got. So, what was it? So yeah, what was it? I don't know if that's still the case, but it's always been said that he's carrying that lingering injury. Korea sort of, what was it? It sort of impacted his shoulder a bit. So what was it? What was it? Sometimes wrestlers, what was it? It might be something similar, strange, like losing feeling in their hands or something like that. So what was it called? They try to minimise it. But I'm sure it'd be fine if it is. He was always a great worker.
Yeah, exactly. I always love his TNA work. Do you know what I mean? For me personally.
Yeah, he was great in TNA, even though he was a miserable bastard.
Yeah, the NWA stuff's obviously its own debate and stuff like that. As to why he left? But again, like I said, that's a whole episode on its own.
Yeah, I mean, you need all the sides to the argument for that. It's easy to say one thing or another. I think he's obviously well respected in Triple H. What was it? It's put him in a great position because he's not only he's there producing in that as well, I believe. So what was it called? Great guy to have and great knowledge, and he's British.
Yeah, he's British, absolutely. And one thing I like as well is the build up with it. the storyline with Randy Orton, I always still love the fact that Randy, this is only for 50,000. You paid me for 100,000. It's like, oh, that's for next time, and I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, it was quite clever, wasn't it? You know,
And then the comments on the line going, "Oh, Randy Orton's investing."
yeah.
But,
Yeah. Sometimes that can backfire. There's a famous story, what was it's not in wrestling again. It's back to football, of a couple of footballers. What was it? When a certain team got a new manager, what was it? Paul Gascoigne handed him a check on the first day of training because he was late, and he backdated it for a laugh.
that's typical of Gascoigne, though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yes. What was it? You know the reason why he get chucked out of Everton? It was Davy Moyes' first day. He says, if anybody doesn't want to be here, stand up now. And Paul stood up, and then he sat back down again and laughed. And then Davy Moyes says, that's you, you're finished at this club. Sold him to Middlesbrough.
Did he actually leave after that? I know he was obviously
Yes,
Tottenham
it was
for a
right
while.
after that. He was only there. He wasn't there much longer. You know. What a talent Paul Gascoigne was, you know.
Yeah. He played 32 times, 2000, 2002.
Yep.
So that's so much easier now. I've got two screens. I can literally search it.
Nice.
So,
some of the stories about Paul are a totally different show. He's a hilarious man. But yes.
Yeah.
Back to the wrestling.
Yeah, come on, back to the wrestling. Come on now.
Back to the miserable bastard. I think it'll be cool. I think Randy Orton will ultimately win the match, you know, and then there'll be a bit of like camaraderie, handshaking, blah blah blah, and then you'll RKO him and they'll go away happy, you know. So, what was it? They could have got away happy. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
so
Rusev, I can see. Rusev, I can see, you know. But what was it? I always thought they were going to give Randy the win this year. So again, would you debut somebody and then have what was it? The other person lose?
you could do. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, but AEW did it with Josh Alexander. You know, the big guy that we're talking about. It was going to be this big superstar. You know, kill his momentum straight away. Anyways.
Yeah, but that's like I said, it's a different thing altogether. Do you know what I mean? I'm just looking now, see what the actual Rusev returns as Randy Orton's mystery point. That's a bold one. Bianca Belair's heel turn, which we've just said there. John Cena will obviously get onto that tomorrow. The Rock takes a Stone Cold Stunner. Oh, yeah. So, who said to us now that Stone Cold more than likely is going to be here?
Yeah, but we would have been involved.
I don't know. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? We'll obviously get onto that tomorrow, right?
Just make sure they don't put him in the VIP box with all the wives. Do we know what he does there?
Ain't I don't know what to say to you sometimes. Oh dear, let's move on, shall we?
Do you know that what was it? He blocked Fiona because Fiona called him a CUNT.
No, I did not know that. Is that a whole debate? Or is that actually? Do you know, was there a reason for that?
No, she just decided he was a cunt.
Okay. Next up, we've got mate is.
Have you seen that clip? Have you seen that clip of what was it? Drew McIntyre on with Gary Neville and that? What was it? And what was they talking about? Damian Priest, you know. What was it? I am going to. What was it? I am going to. What was it? What was it? And he's like, yes, he does the whole PG thing where he's going to face him and he's going to show him who's boss at WrestleMania and things like that. And then what was it? They go, yeah, you do know that you can swear on here. He said, and then Drew goes, yeah, I'm going to kick his cunt in.
Do you know, it's funny you mentioned that because sometimes with interviews and stuff like that, like somebody will pop up saying, can I swear? I'm like, just be yourself. I did one recently with James Greenwood and stuff like that. Obviously, as a referee and stuff. And it's like, oh, I didn't want to swear. I'm like, mate, you could have literally hefted and blinded as much as you want. I don't care. He says, now you fucking tell me. That's a good one, stuff like that. Right, so I'll show that image again, which we've just shown. when I can find my bloody mouse. There it is. Next what we've got is LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I've got to be honest. I mean, Jacob Fatu. I mean, we've said it all along. That guy's a star. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that guy's main event in WrestleMania in 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, I love the LA Knight as well. Fiona adores him. But was it? I mean, but was it? I always enjoyed his work when he was in TNA and that as well. He's just a phenomenal wrestler. But was it? But I just think Jacob's going to win, and then what was it? That's going to kick off that sort of big run for him. Hopefully, what was it? He's just a different beast, isn't he, Jacob Fatu? He's just his look, the way he wrestles, you know. He's just different, you know. He's just different.
He is, and I absolutely love him at John's a Finger. And we said it, you know, with all this old bloodline thing and stuff like that, which was he's the main star. Let's be honest, he's more of a leader than Solo.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, Solo's still like Thingway. I never got the Thingway. Solo's been all right, but I never got the sort of fascination with him. But even Jim Cornette refers to Jacob Fatu as his boy, you know, on his podcast. That's my boy. That's my boy. But what was it called? Yeah, he's just something special. You know, I've not even seen what was it? I mean, I know a lot of people only see these guys when they hit the big time and they come to WWE and AEW. They don't. This is why you need to go to indie shows and local promotions.
Did you see much of Jacob's MLW stuff?
Yeah, he was an absolute beast, you know. And some of the matches with like Hammerstone and that as well, you know, just killed it. Absolutely killed it.
One of the funniest ones I ever saw is when a fan jumped the guardrail and he absolutely takes him out.
Why would you do that Why would you do that when there's any Samoan in the ring?
Is that what wrestlers always said, though? That's what wrestlers always said. They go, look, if you step between those things, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
And he got fucking hurt, mate, let's be honest.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the one years ago where the fan got in, it was Triple H versus Stone Cold? And Triple H just took the turn. Like, the fan got into the ring, and what was it called? And obviously, and he just absolutely leathered the guy.
If it's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
What, do you remember what show it was?
I can't remember.
I think it was.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know if it was an actual like a TV show. I think it was like a house show or something like that. It might have been, but either way, you know, just nuts, absolutely nuts. That would be the case.
Wow, he absolute fucking power slams him. I'm looking at it now.
You found it?
I found it. That is absolute brutal.
Yeah. And there's one with I mean, it just shows you how like adrenaline as well. There's one with Shawn Michaels, and it's a little Down syndrome kid that gets into the ring, and they realise straight away, and it like obviously the security react, but Shawn just diffuses the whole situation, you know. What was it? Because in the heat in the moment, you don't know what's happening. You know, you've heard so many horrible stories. You know, I always remember what was like it's not wrestling, but tennis when Monica Seles was stabbed by a fan at a match. I always remember that. You know,
I always remember the Scarlett Bordeaux one.
Yeah, it's frightening. You know, it's scary. It's scary. You know, yeah. What was it? But yeah, what was it? Can you imagine like Kieran? I mean, when you mess about with like somebody like Kieran Cross, you know, he'd absolutely rip the head off you.
Yeah, he fucking would do. Let's be honest.
You know, you if you're going to do that, you better pray that security gets a hold of you before somebody like him gets a hold of you. You know, because or when what was it? Or when Brett was attacked in the ring at the Hall of Fame. You know.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then what was it? There was a couple of punches, you know, caught on camera, but nothing was made of it.
It's fucking balmy, mate. We see it all the time, though. I mean, we've even seen it now, obviously in the UK, where like I think was it Punk or Cody got like rubbed up the wrong way.
Yeah, it was both of them. You know, it was some sort of only only fools model that was at like the wrestling show, and she was
Did
all
you just say
handsy and
only?
things.
Sorry, did you just say only fools?
Only fools, only fans. I call them only fools.
Yeah, they are only fools. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So stuff. I mean, stuff like that's. I mean, you don't want. That's the one thing. That's the one thing. That was. I always feel uncomfortable if you're meeting a sort of female wrestler, because you're in the queue and this and you see it, like just how horrible like men can be, all handsy, and you know you know just no, they're not there to be touched.
No, exactly. I always remember when I got to meet Jamie Hayter, which is obviously the first ever time I met a wrestler and stuff like that. And you're absolutely right. You're proper nervous as shit because you do hear these stories on like getting rubbed up the wrong way and stuff like that. So I can't find the image. I mean, I don't know where the image has gone, but you're so nervous because you're like, shit. I hope I'm not like, being disrespectful anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And they do encounter it. People ask for a picture, and then it's almost like when the picture agree to the picture, like any sort of what was it, boundaries disappear. They've got that. It's like no, it's it's not right. And what was it? Just sometimes what was it? You just worry that there's an idiot fan who's going to do something, and ruin it for everybody.
No, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like when I have the interview with your female wrestlers and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I do try my best to make them feel comfortable because it's like it's awkward. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
Yeah, what was it called? What was it? And like, what was it? And it's fine. Sometimes you get the one you encounter one, and then you go, oh, you're like, it's all right. She's a hugger, because what was it? That's how they sort of interact, But other ones, they sort of stand off and things like that. You always let them lead. You don't do anything. That's the way I always approach it. Some of them are really nice with the fans, and what was it? It's so. I remember sadly she's no longer with the WWE, but Davenport, I always remember her at a local show, and I had been told before she was a miserable get, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm watching it, and she's like she was just being hounded. She was maybe a Osprey at the time, and she was just being hounded. But I seen her at another local show, and it was like a family friendly show, and just she was at the side. She had her match, and she came out, and she was at the side, and she was just interacting with the kids and just having a laugh and a joke with them, and it's like that's what wrestling's about, But was it's the kids, But was it in that scenario? It's awesome to see when the wrestlers are like that, But then you worry about some idiot, It's no, it's like, oh, she's over there. I'll go and get a picture.
No, exactly. And I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously, I'm in a fortunate position because I get to speak to, some incredible like wrestlers up and down the UK and stuff like that. And one of the prime examples that I always put a special mention as obviously Katie. Do you know what I mean? Ref Katie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Her personality is absolutely incredible and stuff like that. And you may remember, Haney, we had an incident recently which we had to deal with.
Yes. No,
and
definitely.
Stuff like that. And we obviously dealt with it efficiently. And I went back to her saying, look, we've obviously spoke about it. This is what we're going to do. And I'll show you the messages after. But her response was like, she didn't expect you to take it so seriously like we did.
Yeah, no, what was it? No, definitely. And you should always take it seriously. But if it's stuff like that, it should always be taken serious. What was it? Any good person would,
Exactly.
But yeah,
she's an incredible person.
Yeah, no, definitely, and personality, and I always enjoy when she's on because it's always, she looks like she's having an absolute blast and loves what she's doing, And what was it called? And like, yeah, it's amazing to see. Just I love the fact that what was it that the UK is leading the way with all the females in wrestling. It's, whether they be referees or wrestlers. I think we're the best at it.
Absolutely. I mean, she's an incredible person. I'm just like so glad to like speak to her and stuff like that. I know that next show at the Newcastle show, she's the regular ref, so I might go and like, be polite and say hi and stuff, and just enjoy basically her personality.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good.
Absolutely. So we've got a couple more matches, mates, obviously to cover. So this is one which I'm really interested to get your thoughts on: Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair. I've got to be honest, this one really frustrates me more from Charlotte Flair's part. We saw obviously the little promo in ring thing. We saw the like side by side and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This for me is just really frustrating. The whole build up.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I mean, like, what were they thinking? They brought this whole thing was just dumb. The fans had spent 6 months wanting Tiffy to sort of cash in, even though she was a heel and was with Nia, right? And then they bring in Charlotte and almost like she was going to be this like super massive baby face, and it just felt flat on its arse. And then they've had the interactions, and I will say, but was it going back to that promo a couple of weeks ago from Tiffany? She absolutely destroyed Charlotte. What was it in that one promo? I mean, there's been a few occasions like that as well, where she's been like that. She was
Are you
like
talking
that.
about the one where Barrett in the ring?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was it? And I'm going back years and years to the very first. What was it? Raw in Glasgow, and it was they were doing the Hey Bailey thing, and the crowd hijacked the show for about 11 minutes, right? Yeah. What was it called? If you actually watch it on television, it's not that long, but I've got the whole video of it on my phone. I recorded it because it was mental, and because back then it was obviously taped and shown later, but it went on forever, and she just totally lost it in the crowd because every time she spoke, the crowd just got louder and louder and louder, and the same happened here. And it was her comebacks aren't the greatest either. She's not her dad for sure with the way that he can talk. Whatever you say about Ric Flair, the man could talk. I always thought Charlotte is a solid worker, and I know a lot of people are pissed off that she's had so many title runs in such a short. I mean, she's nearly up with her dad in terms of WWE, WCW titles combined. But for me, Tiffy has to walk away with the title in this match, but I've got a very bad feeling it's going to be Charlotte.
Yeah, looking at obviously what people are saying here, they're all saying that Charlotte as well will be walking away. But where does that leave Tiffany? Do you know, as a champion?
That's my point exactly. Where does it leave? Where does it leave Tiffany?
I don't know, mate. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's an odd position. What was it? It doesn't feel right to take it because she's awesome. She's awesome. She's absolutely awesome, Tiffany. I think. You are Tiffany as well. I know you're in the chat. I'm talking about you as well. The two Tiffanys are awesome. What was it called? Yeah, what was it? I think Charlotte's going to win, but I want Tiffany to win because it make more sense for her. She's just at the start of her career, and what was it?
I'm not sure how young is actually Tiffany Stratton.
Sorry?
How young is Tiffany Stratton?
I think she's only about 24, 25.
25. Yes, 25.
Yeah. So, yeah. Nah, and it's been very strange the way it's been booked because it's been always booked in reverse. That Tiffany's always seem to have got the one up on Charlotte through the whole sort of scenario, apart from a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think fans have been boo-boo faced about Charlotte since she won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I know there's a few people are, some people aren't, and stuff like that. But again, this has got people torn.
Yeah. Yeah. As I say again, I think I want Tiff Tiffany to win it, but I think it'll be Charlotte.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in agreement here and stuff like that. So we've got one more match to cover, and of course it's the main event. We know it's the official main event because it's been called the main event, stuff like that, which is Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. We do know, obviously, Paul Heyman's going to be walking out with Punk and stuff like that, but I've got to be honest, this feels like Rollins is the third wheel in this.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, it's all very peculiar, isn't it? With Seth, it would make sense to turn one of them heel because Roman's probably going to disappear after WrestleMania till SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do that with Punk or do you do that with Rollins? And it would make more sense with Rollins to be the heel at the moment. As much as Punk's a natural heel, what was it? It'll be hard to get that over with the fans, I think. Especially if they do go a certain way night two. You need two big baby faces, and Seth could get away with it being a baby face, but he wouldn't get away with being a baby face against CM Punk in most cities, I don't think. as Punk as a heel. Punk would always get the cheers,
No, exactly. My bold prediction for this is Seth turns heel and goes with Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking.
Because a lot of people here are saying the same thing.
And Heyman needs that more than anybody in this scenario because he's a bit like, "This is my tribal chief. Okay, my tribal chief."
He's good though, Paul Heyman. Let's be honest.
Sorry.
Paul Heyman's
good.
good. Let's be.
Oh, he's awesome. And anybody that doesn't say Paul Heyman isn't awesome is not awesome.
They're lying to you, basically.
They're basically lying.
Yeah, exactly. But how do you see this match going in?
Yeah, I think obviously there'll be some weird shenanigans going on, but I think Seth will come out the winner.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here and stuff like that. I mean, I'm going to say Seth and stuff like that. Nobody's picking Roman, weirdly.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling now because Roman's in that special attraction phase now where he'll get cheered wherever he goes. So he doesn't need the win or loss. He doesn't even need the title now. So but was and they sort of need it because I'm guessing they need to continue that sort of Seth. What was it? CM Punk storyline going forward. What was it called?
Messina, right?
Yeah, and basically, what was it with Paul Heyman there would be very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm saying Seth and stuff like that. So, I asked that obviously we do a pre-show and stuff like that. What do you think the match of the night's going to be?
I think the match of the night is going to be Snoop Dogg. Whatever he does.
All right, okay.
Nah, I'm joking. Probably going to be the main event. What is it called? I think let's do it two ways, right? For me, what was it? The most memorable thing is going to be the most memorable match is going to be Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. But the match of the night is going to be Jacob Fatu and Gunther. I think they're actually going to have like world class match.
I have to 100% agree with you there. I'm so glad you said that one and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to say the Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. What do you think I call it the MVP of the night?
Who do you think will be the MVP? Was it?
What do you think is going to be the star of the whole show, basically?
Yeah, I'm probably going to say Jacob.
Okay.
As I say, it was that or Gunther. I think that was it. Gunther can make anybody have it like a standout match, but so can Jacob. So but yeah, I think Jacob and I think LA Knight will be the best match.
I'm interested to see which match starts.
Apparently, it's already confirmed. It's Jay.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually see that.
Well, I say confirmed. That's what they're all saying online. That the first match is Jay.
Yeah, because one thing I'm always critical about match placement and stuff like that. So I'm going to be watching that very, very closely. We may be doing obviously a live watch along. We're not 100% sure yet. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So we're going to be watching it all the way through because it kicks off at 12 o'clock midnight. So it might be about 5 o'clock before we go to bed.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Ain't it? It's always a blast, mate. You're going to be covering night 2 tomorrow. Is roughly around the same time?
Yeah, it sounds good. Yes.
Absolutely. So all I'm going to say, guys, is enjoy WrestleMania and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Thanks for watching. If you guys obviously want to support the show, The Magic of Wrestling on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, we're absolutely everywhere and stuff like that. Go on in, I'll let you have the final word.
Oh, don't do that. After yesterday.
And on that bombshell.
On that bombshell.